going to cover the current problems with TechCom. I'm going to go over the principles of my proposal and why the gaming principles that I'm using will help solve those problems. I'll move on to the examples of some assignments and one game that I would suggest using, and then the feasibility of my entire course. The first issue is it's not really a priority. We have a lot of things going on. We really don't feel that writing a paper and researching for that paper is important compared to doing our math studying and stuff like that. So we really do not care to do a lot of research into a subject that we really don't feel is practical. The next is it's not really motivating. In class, we aren't motivated to engage actively and really learn the material because, once again, it's not a high priority on our list of things that we have to do. So that means we can push it off, and Facebook happens over the weekend when we're supposed to be doing our research, and 3 hours later you still haven't done anything. That's a big problem. So the last one is it doesn't seem very practical in the workplace. How does this paper apply to making a motherboard for a computer or creating a bridge or anything like that? It doesn't really seem like it applies to what you will be doing later on. Next, we'll move to the principles of games that I'm going to use to try and solve these problems. The first is intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation comes from within an individual without any external forces. So our blue guy over here, he's running after money. That would be an extrinsic motivator. Once that money is gone, he no longer cares about whatever he was working for. But if the person cares about the goal, like our orange guy here, even if he's getting paid and the money stops flowing, he's still interested in that goal. And the same can be applied to learning. If you care about what you're supposed to be learning, you will care about learning the material instead of just going for the grade. Next is practical applications. If you can apply what you are learning to the workplace, you will feel like it is more engaging. You will feel a little better about actually doing the assignment. So you could email your professors about design projects or just research in general so that you can learn how to do the emails, but also learn something that you're going to need later on. In the end, you could propose a design or research project so that you feel like the proposal actually means something to yourself. And then, like, I've got an image here of a bunch of different tools that I could use as an electrical engineer. I could write a summary of those tools or write instructions of how to use those, and it would help me learn how to use them better, or just help me explain them to somebody else. And then the last is friendlier grading. In here, it doesn't really promote learning. When you hand in a paper, you get a grade and that's it. You can see that you did things wrong, but you really don't care about what you did wrong because it's already set. So the first grading would be done by the professor. It would be pretty similar to what we have. But I'm going to introduce grade revival to try and help students learn what they did wrong and want to fix that. Now, grade revival would basically be an average of two different grades. You would either redo the assignment or you would fix all of the issues that you had in the original. And you could get up to half of that credit back. It would teach the students what they did wrong and teach them how to do it right the next time, instead of just breezing over that again at the end. Because I know when I get a paper back and I've got a bunch of things wrong, I really don't care as much when I can't do anything about it. And like that, if you had a bad day, you just turned in a paper and it was a horrible day, you didn't write very well at all. This would help alleviate some of that. So if you didn't understand the assignment very well, or you had an emergency or anything like that, it would help alleviate some of that issue with your paper. So now we can move on to some examples. Last time, I proposed doing a schedule for all your courses. I didn't really have a good visual of that, but this is a basic idea of what I was saying. I have courses and I have the credit count for each semester and kind of what I would be looking at taking. You can see in there that I have a couple things highlighted in red. Those would be courses that my department has changed recently. So I got an email about 2 weeks ago that EE 330 would no longer be offered in the spring. It would only be offered in the fall. So I had to switch that around, but given my credits, it would put me in an overload situation, and that would not be very nice. So I had to swap some things around. Having this, I was able to do that really quickly, and I didn't have to worry about where I would be later on. Also, I'm scheduled all the way through this semester. I have all of those in WebAdvisor already. I already have all of my courses. I don't have to worry about not having them when I go to sign up later. The ideas I have for gaming in this course would be extra credit competitions. So you wouldn't just earn extra credit by doing an assignment really well. You would have to compete with other people to earn that. So you could have individual students competing against each other to earn a few extra points here and there to apply to, like I said, the issues that you had with writing your papers. But you could also have groups competing against each other to get group points. So now we're on to the feasibility of my plan. The biggest thing with mine is you would not need any additional funding. So you wouldn't have to go and buy any expensive equipment or anything like that. You would just have the same course materials and everything. The only change is the focus of the assignments that you're actually doing. So you really don't have a lot of extra costs. So my proposal engages students, it helps them learn the material instead of just do it for the grade, and it doesn't cost a lot of money. Are there any questions?